Hi everyone, thanks for joining in today on a beautiful morning out here in Laguna Beach as I go out for my morning hike. Today I thought I'd share with you guys a little bit about a story how we went from $462 to making 7 figures online. And even today it seems almost surreal to me from what happened. But I'm going to show you the one common denominator that basically helped us to get to that point. Now, the interesting thing, 3 years ago, I was actually living in Dallas in my brother's house because I couldn't afford it. Got hit by life. As I'm sure many of you guys can relate, the economy basically was terrible. I didn't have a job, I didn't have anything, and I needed some time to figure out what I want to do with my life. And the interesting thing that time when I plugged back in, I just started going through personal development, and I used to do a lot of personal development. Every time I've been successful, I had basically done something to feed my mind to be able to get me to that level. But because of where I was at, I was just blaming everything in life, blaming God, blaming everything that was surrounding me, and just say, you know what, it's not this personal development. I'm just going to cut everything out. Well, sure enough, it came down. I think it was my 39th birthday, and I'm sitting in my brother's house, and I'm way beyond on my goals. Wasn't married, hadn't even met the person that I wanted to marry, didn't have kids. And so I decided whatever I was doing right then, it just wasn't working. I had literally less than $500 in my checking account. So I decided to basically sit out and just do things differently. I realized what I was doing was not working. So I basically made it a goal to wake up every morning and just to try learning something new every day. And so my very first goal was actually to find a great relationship, right? Because in order to have kids, you got to have the wife thing, right? I mean, that'd be pretty important, right? So started basically doing Tony Robbins's. He had a CD. It was called Laws of Attraction. Oh my God, man, this thing's not going to work, but let's try it anyway. Did it. He talked about the 31 qualities that you're looking for. So I basically wrote down all my goals. It was a pretty funny time because I remember he said, okay, write down everything you want in your partner. So I wrote it down. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait for this to happen. Then he's like, you know what? Now go be that person. I'm like, oh man, now I actually have to go work and figure this out. So I started working on all those particular skills, and sure enough, within 3 months later, I ended up meeting my future fiance out in New York. She's actually from Canada. And so that was the first part taking over. Now, the interesting thing about her, she was really big into growing as a person as well. And every day I was doing something to grow as well. So she said, you know what, you should go to this Tony Robbins course. They're coming out in Dallas, and it might be able to help you out. So I decided to go to the course. Absolutely life transforming. I mean, literally. And bear in mind, guys, I'm like, great, another course. I've been to a lot of these. I don't know how it's going to work. Like, do I really want to go? And sure enough, it came out. I was super gung-ho. And then I said, okay, great. So they give you a free coach afterwards. And then the coach basically said, look, your mom lives out in California. You've always dreamt about moving to California. So your family lives in Dallas, so you just got to make a decision. Like, you got one foot in one place, one foot in the other. So you just need to make a decision and just go with it. So I decided to go ahead and spring along, called my mom, moved out to California. And I'm telling you right now, had it not been for that course, there's no way I would have made that jump out of my comfort zone to go move out to California. So still hadn't made any money. Move out, less than $462 in my checking account. And move in a room above my mom's condo. Okay, so my mom's supporting me while I'm still trying to figure out what to do. But my fiance was in Vancouver now, and my only goal was to spend more time with her. So start going out. I met a couple of partners in a private equity firm. And guys, I'm just telling you, had it not been for me going through that course with Tony Robbins, I wouldn't have been in the right state of mind to even be able to do anything. But I was very open, ambitious. We ended up having a meeting, and I didn't try to sell them on anything. They told me what would I like. I told them what we could do together, and sure enough, we actually set aside some money, and we had a partnership that was formed within 2 months of me moving to California. So now I have to go to work. So the next course I take is actually Grant Cardone. So I'm like, oh great, I don't know how the hell I'm going to do this thing. But then Grant Cardone had a really cool CD. I'm sure a lot of you guys have read maybe the 10X Rule. And in that book, he talks about how success is not it's not a choice. It's your obligation, is your duty. And that really had a profound way of how I saw how success was going to be. Because I always thought it was a choice. And then once he made it, it's like your duty and obligation to be successful. So not only are you going to be able to be a great husband and be able to provide for your family, but you can do so much more in life. So I decided to go ahead and really that had a huge bearing on me, and it made me shift my perspective. So within 3 to 4 months after that, we're doing okay, and I wanted to learn how to make money online. Now bear in mind, I had absolutely no online skills whatsoever, but we had stumbled across a model that basically was licensing digital products. I loved the business model, and the interesting thing about it yet though, everybody that was doing it, they were in the biz ops space or business opportunity. And the funny thing is I really didn't see it as a business opportunity. I saw it as a true 8-figure business that you could build from home around the comfort of your family. And that's really what I was looking for. And so I started, had no clue about online, and there were all these different systems, and I had no idea what to do with them. And I just basically started learning something new every day. And that's really the biggest thing that I've done to get to that point, is the fact that I didn't know anything about online, but I'm like, okay, they've got a system on email. I didn't know anything about emails. Okay, I'm like, okay, so this week I'm going to learn all about emails. And so I basically plugged in, went through some of the training, learned more about emails. Next week, as you guys probably know, is like texting. Texting is the biggest thing. We all open up text today, right? So I didn't know a thing about that, and then I started going through the training. But every week, I just made it a mission to take half an hour to an hour of my day at the time, because I was still working, to be able to learn a little bit more about those particular tools. So as I started doing that, I just started learning a little bit more and more and more. And pretty soon, we had figured out like all the components and different systems that we could take for that company, private label it for ours, and actually launch our own company. And it took about 1.5 years. So I just want you guys to know this was not overnight. It took about 1.5 years before we were able to literally figure out all the different components and be able to get it working. And during that period of time, what was really funny is I remember we made $12,000 for 1 month. And my fiance was saying, oh my God, she was like so happy. And she was saying, you know, now, she was just figuring that if we made that, for the year, like we would make like, 6 figures online, and that would be really great. Well, she had no idea where we were headed with that model. But the cool part about that is when I made that $12,000, I was able to call my fiance and say, listen, we're going to get a place, and a place where I've always dreamed about, which is Laguna. And we're going to move there. We're going to be together, because that was my very first goal. And online allowed me the opportunity to be able to do that. And so once we moved to Laguna, it just started taking off from there. So how do we grow it from that to where we're at? It's really simple. Every day we just learn something new. And so when I first started, I didn't have any time. I would literally take 15 to 20, 30 minutes, just learn one new thing every day. Every day, I just woke up and I asked myself, like, what am I doing to grow today? What can I learn that's going to better me in my life and move me closer to my goals? So that's what I did. And I didn't have a lot of time at the beginning. I started out basically with 15, 20 minutes. I would listen to an Audible book or a podcast, something about marketing, something about email, something about texting. And it took me a little while to be able to learn everything. But the key is that because I just basically took consistent action, I was able to get to that level. So my purpose of this video is actually like really simple. One is just to share with you is that it's never it's never an overnight success. I've studied so many successful people. It didn't just magically happen for them. Every one of them had a certain thing that they did over a long period of time consistently that allowed them to be successful. And the thing you got to look at it is it's the person that's standing after being knocked down so many times that they're still there and they're saying, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be right here and I'm going to finish what I started. Those are the people that are going to be successful. So how does that all begin? Just grow every day. What can you do? And the only question when you wake up in the morning, write it down on your wall, put it in a big patch and say, what can I do today to grow? How can I grow today? What's the one thing I can do today that's going to take me closer to my goals and dreams? Okay? Because bottom line is we had started out $462, and now I'm sitting here in a beautiful hiking trails, looking at multi-million-dollar properties right around the area, which is where we live. I always dreamt about living in Laguna, and we're here. So bottom line is, how do we do that? Just learn how to grow every day. Okay? So hopefully this was helpful or valuable for you. If it is, share it with someone. And just ask yourself, guys, just one thing. How can I grow today? Put it up on your wall where you can see it every day, and make those goals to a part where it's helping you to be able to reach whatever goals you have. Just one thing every day. If you do that consistently, you'll be amazed at what happens, because it compounds, right? And over a period of a year and a half, now you're an expert on emails, you're an expert on texting, you're an expert on all these different things. But if I would have looked this back at 2 years ago when I started, there's no way I would have started, because I would have been so overwhelmed. But I just said, okay, what am I doing today to help me get to my next level? 15, 30 minutes a day. I'm just going to take that, implement it right away so I can learn it, and I'm going to learn something new. And get excited about growing. So when I wake up in the morning now, I spend the first 2 to 3 hours just growing, and it gets me excited, it gets my energy up, because I want to learn as much as possible. Some of the top CEOs that are out there, what they do is they literally spend, they read about 40, 50 books every single year, because they're constantly learning. And it's that growing that gives you the energy and gets you into action mode, because you get excited. So I guess my purpose of telling you this is that don't worry about the outcome of the results. As long as you're growing every day and you're taking action, you're going to be able to 10x the results that you were expecting in the first place. Just take the proper action to grow, okay? So hopefully that was valuable, and that's it. We love you guys. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll say sayonara here from beautiful Laguna Beach. Take care. Bye-bye.